Hello everyone, welcome back to the Overseas Nursing Band. So today we're going to be talking about the new released information from the NMC, the Nursing and Midwifery Council of UK, the regulating body for nurses and other allied healthcare professionals in the UK. You know, it's all about the long-awaited discussion, consultation on the English testing system of the UK. So the IELTS and the OET, which are the two main ways where we are tested here in the UK if you're coming to become a registered nurse and other professions in healthcare. So what has happened? Anyway, before we continue, my name is Jane and this is Overseas Nursing Band, and you know what we do here: everything nursing, OSCE tips, settling in the UK tips, having fun in the UK tips for people that have just come to live in the UK, relocating from overseas. In the healthcare, but it's also useful for other people as well, you know. So, and before we move in, how are you? You all right? Good. Another thing I want to say, thank you for all our subscribers. Thank you for everyone. Thank you. Please don't forget to subscribe if you have not, and don't forget to comment, to share, and to like. God bless. Thank you. Anyway, so as we were saying, the UK announced the other day that they have accepted the consultations and they're going to be implementing it from January 2023. Yay! But is it really time for us to rejoice? Are we going to be rejoicing? So just to give a background, if you're coming to the UK, let me just say it for nurses, if you're coming to the UK to practice, one of the requirements for practicing here in the UK as a nurse is that you must be proficient in your English. And how they do that is there are two main exams you write, the IELTS and your OET exams, to be able to say you're proficient in English. Even though we find this ridiculous, like, oh my god, I was taught in English, why do I need to do an exam to prove that I can I mean, you can see me speaking English, you understand, do I need to write an exam to prove that I know English, you know? But not as a regulating body, they have a responsibility as a duty of care towards patients to make sure that people that are coming to practice are practicing safely, and patient safety is usually paramount in with the NMC. That is why they want to make sure that if you're coming to practice here, you are able to communicate with the patient. You know, you're able to understand what you're going to do for the patient and able to communicate up, you know, to the patient, communicate with the patient, I beg your pardon. So in that case, I would say that is fair. It's fair, but it's just that the standard I set is just so ridiculous, because indigenous people can't even pass the exam. Like people that were born and brought up here that are English speakers, they can't even they can't even pass the exam. So it was like, if the people here can't pass the exam, why are you expecting foreigners to be able to pass it? So that has been an ongoing consultation for a long time, and for a long time different changes. The English testing system has undergone various changes, and the newest one was the one that happened, that they started a consultation that ended 12th of August, or is it 22nd of August? Okay, and now they've come out to say, well, we have heard you, we've put out these consultations of what you wanted, and this is what, so we're hearing you, we're going to do as you have said, we're going to implement it. And what is this consultation we've been talking about? What is the consultation, you know? So what are these consultations that they're going to implement? let me just put here how they are going to implement it. We're not sure yet, but it is said it's going to be implemented in January, and this they include this. If you have been living in the UK, for example, for the last 2 years and been working as a non-registered personnel, say for example, you're working as a carer in a healthcare organization, in a care home, in the hospital, and for the past 1 year, that could count towards, which is sensible, isn't it? That could count towards your English. They could accept that. If you've done a post qualification, for example, you came and did your masters in the UK, which is common sense again, that is acceptable, and you can get a reference from your employer to say this person has been working with us, they've been speaking in English. We do, a reference from your employer in the UK from a healthcare setting for the past 1 year, which is sensible as well, isn't it? And then another thing is that you can combine scores. You can combine scores, which is sensible. These are all sensible things, aren't they? So this is what is going to happen, and we're going to see how this implementation will come into play come 2023 January. That's what they say, but it's looking good. But they have also said you continue doing what you're doing until then. Of course, we don't have any other choice than to continue doing what we're doing, writing IELTS if we want to come. But if you not have any IELTS book, if you want to say, okay, let me wait until January and see what happens, if any of those things we think will favor you, why not? If you think, oh, I haven't done masters in the UK, or I have not been living in the UK, I've been living in my country of origin, I think you should just book your test and just keep doing it, and then you might be able to combine scores. Because I remember when there was a change, the last change that happened before now, you could, if you, for your English, if I'm talking of the IELTS part of it now, so your English pardon me, your reading, your listening, speaking and writing. So if you get a 6.5 and a 6.5, you could combine scores. Yeah, that's what's still in place now. But you have to have a 7 in speaking, reading, and listening. So we'll see what happens. But I would just want to wish everyone good luck, and I hope it favors you. And yeah, so that's the updates. Thank you. God bless. Thank you for listening. Bye.